Hello, everyone. Dr. Hassaan Tohid here with a live session once again. And just give me a second. Let me invite everyone. Hopefully, all of you can hear me. Please do type and let me know if you cannot hear me. And just stay tuned for at least 2 minutes. Okay, just wait for at least 2 minutes. And when you are here, please do type, okay? And for all those who are joining my session for the very first time, welcome, and welcome to the California Institute of Behavioral Neurosciences and Psychology. And thank you, guys. And be patient with me, okay? Be patient with me. In fact, you can walk around for a couple of minutes, exactly 2 minutes, and you can join me back, okay? And meanwhile, I will make sure I invite everyone. Hi. How are you, Shahid? How are you? Thank you. Please feel free to ask any questions and please keep a notebook with yourself because today's session is very important. Today we are going to talk about a very important topic on how to publish all those things that will help you. Thank you, Shai. Thanks a lot. I'm really well. Thank you. And I'm making sure everyone joins and we will try to finish this session really fast. I don't want to waste a lot of time, and we will begin this session exactly in a minute. And I'm waiting for all other students to join, and if you have any question, feel free to ask. First of all, make a list of your questions. Make a list of your questions, and that will be the ideal thing to do, because otherwise it becomes so confusing that you are thinking about the questions right away. Just keep writing the questions down as the questions come to your mind, and then type and do brainstorming about your questions as well the whole week, that what questions you should ask. Remember, the more we ask, the more we learn. People who ask most questions learn the most. It's not a hidden philosophy. Everyone knows this, right? I used to be a very I would say inquisitive student who used to ask a lot of questions during my sessions. And let me fix this camera a little bit. I hope now this seems a little better. Yeah. Okay. Who else is watching? Who else is here? Please do type and let me know. Okay. So everyone is here. Please do introduce yourself. So I will greet you. I will mention your name, and let's begin. Okay, Zarna, thank you. Thank you for joining us. So last week we discussed some basic rules of writing. We discussed some basic rules about research. And hi, Natalie. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Muhammad Sanusi. Thank you. So I can see people are joining. That's very good. Let's begin. Let's talk about this. We will talk about the questions that you are asking, and everyone already has the link. Hopefully all the enrolled students are here. Hi, Alina, Tayyiba, thank you for joining. Asma, thank you for joining. And most of you are in a time zone where it's midnight, possibly. And I'm enjoying my late morning here, and we are about to enter into the afternoon, and a very, very windy day. Such a windy day that I wanted to sit outside and do a session, but I could not because it's so windy. In fact, I can hear the noise inside right now. Okay, so it's becoming hard for you to select a topic. We will talk about this. Hi, Khushbu, how are you? Hi, Esra, thank you. So we will talk about this. So remember, let's talk about the basic things for today. We will talk about how to publish. That's my main theme. But since this question has come up, how to select a topic, remember, the secret of topic selection, there is no other secret than selecting something that you love the most. What is the thing that you love the most? Let me show you some example. I love these things. You see the Counselor magazine, Mental Health, Psychology Today. These are the magazines that I usually read, and I have so many of these brain related magazines, and I enjoy them. I read them. The picture has become a little blurry. It's okay, it will be fixed. It will be fixed. So anyways, what I was saying, that I love these things. I read these things. I love these things, and it gives me passion. It gives me the energy, the enthusiasm, and I don't get tired when I'm reading these things, when I'm studying these topics, brain-related topics. That's my profession, right? My clinical background is psychology, as you all know, mental health. So I am crazy about it. I did not become a mental health clinician because I wanted to make money. Mental health field does not give you enough money. It's my passion. It's my craziness about the field. I cannot live without it. I feel my day is empty the day I don't read anything about human behavior, human mind, and psychology. That's the passion I want all of you to have for your field, for your topic. If your topic that you have selected for your research is not that kind of topic that gives you that kind of motivation and energy, that you always love to read about it, you always love to study this, you always see these kind of things, you always, all around you, you always have that thing, you cannot possibly write an amazing paper. You need to find such a passion. If you are a cardiologist, then you should have heart models in your home. You should have the model of heart. You should have 3D pictures, 3D apps of heart. Like I have 3D app of human brain. First of all, let me show you something. You will say this guy's crazy. What is my desktop? In my cell phone, what is my desktop? Human brain. My desktop is human brain. So I'm trying to show something, that why do I not get bored? Why I love what I do. And let me show you my app, the human brain app I have. It's loading. I just played this. See, it's loading. Hasn't been updated. So just give me a second. I'll show you the app. And there is a particular reason of showing all this thing to you, that you need to find something that you love this much, that your whole life revolves around it. My whole life revolves around human brain. Hold on, let me show you something. Let me show you something funny. Okay, give me a second. I'm bringing something. I'll show you something funny. In fact, my daughter has started to play with my brain model. This is my brain model. Okay, and I put it in my library upstairs. Okay, but my daughter brought it and she started playing, and she has now started playing with brain. The only kid in the world who plays with brain, because her father is crazy about brain. So that's what I'm talking about. Why don't you have a model of heart if you want to be a cardiologist? If you want to be a nephrologist, why haven't you purchased the kidney model? If you want to be a GI specialist, why haven't you purchased the human model, the abdomen, the abdominal region, or the liver, the liver model? Where is it? You want to be a rheumatologist, you want to be an orthosurgeon, but you don't have a skeleton at home. You're just deceiving yourself, wasting time, deceiving yourself, wasting your life. You're just trying to impress other people, but you're not doing it for yourself. If you're doing it for yourself, you will have these models. Your kids will be playing with those models. And you will have whole of your house filled with these kind of books, magazines. Your cell phone will be your field. So my cell phone is human brain. I have my models of human brain. I have my magazines of human brain, psychology, and I have the app, 3D app, where I keep looking at human brain and I study it. And my app disappeared for some reason. Here it is. So that's the 3D app. Look at this. That's the 3D app. And I'll show you. That's my 3D app where I study my human brain. I keep looking at, look, it's a 3D app. You can look at the brain, all parts, and you can remove this part. So I keep looking at it. I keep studying it. I dig deeper into it, and I keep revising it so that I have it in my mind. Look at this. Now it gives you the structures, the names, and then you can move it 3D. You can look at the bottom, you can look at the medulla, you can look at the cerebellum, everything. So you don't have this kind of passion for your field. That's the problem. The reason we don't find topics related to our specialty is that we haven't found our passion. We are not that crazy about something like this yet. We are crazy about movies. We are crazy about TV shows. We are crazy about Netflix season nowadays. Everyone is watching Netflix season. Somebody said, "Oh, you should watch that season." What was the name of the season? Somebody mentioned a very famous name. Squid Game, and another name, another very famous name. I forgot. Ozark. So those names, people keep telling me, "Oh, did you watch this?" Oh, and I see people typing on Facebook that there is a new series, Ozark, everyone should watch, those kind of things. I keep seeing those messages. I keep listening to people's conversation about this. So people are crazy about those things. But we haven't yet found the field we are passionate about. Is there any field that you love the most? You love it more than movies? Is there any field that you love more than TV shows, more than Netflix series? Is there anything you love more than exploring songs on YouTube? What is that thing? Something that doesn't give you tiredness, something that makes you fresh, something that makes you feel happy, something that makes you energetic and excited. And instead of getting tired, your energy levels go up. When I see these magazines, when I see these kind of books, when I see these kind of journals, they give me excitement and energy. My energy levels go up, and that's how I live, guys. That's how I live. Why do you think CIBNP has a name, California Institute of Behavioral Neurosciences and Psychology? Why? Because I love it. I love the name. I love everything about human brain. That's my brand. It has become my brand. Human brain has become my brand. That's what I want all of you to do. Make your specialty your brand. And you can only do that if you really, really love it. So whoever is struggling with topic selection, let's discuss. Please type, what is the specialty you love the most? Start typing and let me bring my tea meanwhile. Everyone, please type your specialty and we will explore the topics. We will come to the publishing part today, later. But first, I want to resolve this issue. I know some of you struggle with topic selection. We will resolve this issue. Okay, give me a second. I'll bring my tea. Stay tuned, guys. I'm coming. And I'm back. So let's see. Nobody typed. This is sad. Cardiology. Okay. So if you have cardiology as the field that you love the most, first of all, what I want you to do is start looking at everything published in academic journals related to cardiology. Secondly, start looking at if there are any magazines like this in cardiology. Start looking at open access journals in cardiology, and you will see what people are publishing, what people are writing nowadays, what people have been writing about. If it's pediatrics, now we have another student mentioning pediatrics as a field, as what she's passionate about. So pediatrics, what exactly in pediatrics? Pediatrics is an ocean. Cardiology is an ocean. Come and narrow down to one particular topic in cardiology, and for pediatrics, come down and narrow to one specialty, one system. In pediatrics, what system do you love the most? And this camera is creating problem for me today. Something is wrong with the focus. We can just wait. We cannot do anything. Just be patient, guys. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay, obstetrics and gynecology, and also cardiology, Zarna and Khushbu. So let's explore the topics. So let's begin with cardiology. If cardiology were my passion, how would I have already selected a topic? First of all, I would have purchased a heart model so that it motivates me, and it would have been always in front of my eyes. It would remind me that I am a cardiologist. Just like this reminds me that I am a neuroscientist. Every day, that has become my identity. That's the first thing first, right? Secondly, I would start purchasing all possible books on cardiology that I could find. I would have a library of cardiology books. Similarly, I have a library of psychology and neuroscience books and psychology books. And can you imagine that somebody plans to become a mental health clinician? Any one of you who is writing in psychiatry and neuroscience, if you want to be a psychiatrist especially and you don't have DSM-5, if you don't have DSM-5, let's fix this. What is the issue with the camera? Okay, fixed. So if you are in psychiatry, you don't have DSM-5, you are just pretending to be a psychiatrist. You are just trying to impress other people that, oh, I want to be a psychiatrist. You're trying to impress your relatives. Oh, I want to be a psychiatrist. Where is your DSM-5? You couldn't even find the pocket DSM. You couldn't even buy the pocket DSM. These are excuses. So why those books are important? Because every topic in that book will give you an idea what articles are published, what topics are there. You will have those topics in mind. That's what I'm talking about. So start to look at Pediatrics Magazine. I think there is one, Pediatric Magazine. If you can subscribe to it, that magazine, that would be great. It will not only benefit you for your research projects, but it will benefit you for your residency interviews. You will have plenty of things to talk about. Remember, when we know something, we will be given the power to say something. This is a universal principle. When we know something, we will be given the power to say something. The reason many people mess up in the interviews, they don't have enough thing to say about the topic because they haven't read enough. You gotta be a lifelong reader. You gotta be a lifelong learner. Why are you not reading? the books related to pediatrics, the journals related to pediatrics, and the magazine. If you cannot subscribe to a magazine, subscribe to a journal, one of the most popular journals in pediatrics, American Journal of Pediatrics, and get the subscription, and let that magazine, the hard copy of the journal, come to your home, and you read it and try to finish all those articles. That this will give you an idea. This will give you an idea of few things. Number one, it will give you an idea that you now know how articles are written, how long are the articles, what are the headings people use in their articles, what are the headings people use, how many subheadings do they use, do they have any figures, the pictures, the diagrams, any graphs. That's what I'm talking about. So looking at other people's published papers, especially looking at the hard copy of the journal subscription, that will be amazing. So that will give you ideas. Now, if you don't want to purchase, at least get one subscription, especially if you live in the US or European countries. Journals usually send you the hard copy in those countries easily. If you do live in those countries, so get a subscription of the journal, the hard copy, keep reading them. And let me tell you one secret. If you read, I'm telling you a life-changing secret, guys. If you just read one research article related to your specialty every morning, from start to the end, 15 minutes, in 15 years, 15, rule of 15, I'm telling you a rule of 15. If you read something about your field 15 minutes a day, every single day without a gap for 15 years, you will become an authority in that field. Just one article. Can't you read just one research article every day related to your field? If you do, you will become an authority. And imagine if you keep reading, how many ideas your mind will produce. The reason you don't have ideas because you haven't read enough. You haven't developed the habit of reading. Now, let's say you don't have hard copy and you don't want to purchase it. You have financial constraint, okay? Although those subscriptions are not that expensive, considering it as an investment in your future. So what do you do then? Then just rely on open access journal. There are so many open access journals. There are so many open access journals. And now, do you see how easy it is to become an expert in the field, to become an authority in the field? That you don't have to do the hard work of continuous 24 hours a day. No, I'm just saying read one article 15 minutes each day for 15 years, and you will be in top 15% people of the world in that field. Possibly in top 10% of the world. And the more you read, the more ideas you get for research publication, the more ideas you get for topic selection. That's number one. So now whoever is struggling, if you are struggling with cardiology, get a free open access journal of cardiology and look at the articles that are published, or just go to PubMed. Now, another advice I'll give you, go to PubMed simply. Simply go to PubMed and type cardiology or heart and see what are the recent publications on PubMed related to your field, related to cardiology, and start reading. Okay, the first article was this, second article was just the headings, just the title. Now I'm telling you another way of selecting a topic. Type cardiology and see what is published lately on PubMed. Now you got an idea what people are usually discussing, what people are writing, what people are discussing about, what people are publishing about. Now, what do you do? Another thing you can do, everyone take notes, please. Make sure you take notes. Go to PubMed, type cardiology, and in the filters on the left, far left of the screen, in the far left of the screen, there is a section on the left, filters. Select systematic reviews, traditional reviews, and then select full free text article. Click on it. Click on it. Now PubMed will only show you full papers. Full papers, and will show you review articles, systematic reviews and traditional reviews, and possibly meta-analysis. Now look at what people are publishing. What are they talking about? What are they writing? Those topics will give you an idea. And you also understand now what are the topics that journals usually prefer. Some people say that, oh, the topic I have come up with, somebody already published it just a couple of years ago. That's very good. That means this topic is in demand. Just make sure that that topic was not published last year or a few months back. Always give a 2-year timeline, that if it's not published in the last 2 years, then this is a topic that you should go for. This is a topic you should go for. Now, the next thing you can do, everyone simply go to Google and type cardiology. And type your field. Like, for example, Khushbu, write down gynae and ops or gynecology. And just type gynecology news. And for cardiology students, just write down cardiology news. Pediatrics students, write down pediatrics news. Write it down. And now start looking at the news. Okay, let's do this experiment with pediatrics. I'll do that. I go to Google and I have this, and I'll write down pediatrics news. Pediatrics news. So the moment I typed pediatrics news, there are so many websites. First is AAP News, American Academy of Pediatrics. Okay, click on it. See what articles usually are being discussed. First article is Pfizer requests FDA authorization of COVID vaccine for children under 5. Vaccine is a good topic nowadays, COVID vaccine, but however, remember, I want all of you to stay away from COVID. Try not to write papers related to COVID. The reason is everyone is writing COVID. Everyone is writing COVID. Everywhere you go, you have COVID. Journals are preoccupied. The chances of rejection will be higher. Okay, now the next topics. Most read COVID-19 pandemic, COVID-19, again COVID-19, again pandemic. So stay away from these topics, but choose any other topic other than pandemic. Any other topics. Changes to MOC. I don't know what do they mean by that. Club foot treatment with Ponseti method relies on teamwork, family support. This is a topic that is a hit topic in pediatrics these days. Club foot treatment. I don't know what it is, but pediatric students understand this. I understand it is trending right now, Waleed, but you gotta stay away from COVID-related topics because you may not be able to find something new. Try to find something else. Everyone is writing COVID. Everyone is selecting topics related to COVID. Or can you come up with COVID and something that is very, very rarely discussed? Yes, but when everyone is writing, okay, COVID is the only topic. I said COVID is the only topic that is trending that you should stay away from. That's it. COVID is the only topic that is trending nowadays that you should stay away from. Unless you can find something really, really interesting that nobody else has found about COVID, but that can only be done in a clinical trial or observational studies. You cannot write a review article or a systematic review related to COVID, new topic. So COVID is the only topic, I'll repeat again, COVID is the only topic that is trending, but you should avoid. Many journals will reject it easily. Okay, now again, CDC 5, children have died from flu this season. 5 children have died from flu this season. Okay, simple flu is a good topic. Some alternative peripartum neonatal practices carry disease risks. See this topic? These are the topics that you should be focused on. You can write a wonderful systematic review, peripartum issues, neonatal practices that increases the risk factor of cardiovascular infections in kids, or skin infections, or lung infections in kids, or some GI problems, some GI infections, some renal problems, some peripartum activities, or some neonatal activities that increase risk of certain infections in newborn, or that increase some risk of some congenital problems. This is in trend. This is in the news. What else? Policymakers should seek pediatrician expertise. Policymakers, public health and pediatrics, those kind of topics are in demand. And of course, they are in trend nowadays. So that means chances of writing a good paper and publishing are very high. What policymakers should consider to avoid prenatal infections? Combining both of them together. Okay, any other? Keep scrolling down. So you can further explore this website and you will see what has been published in past 3 months, maybe 6 months. Now let's go to the next website, Pediatrics News on Medical Express website. Okay, so what have they written? Study number 1, the article number 1 on this news website is, new study estimates prevalence of undiagnosed HIV in children in sub-Saharan Africa. HIV in children. HIV in children is in demand. Please take notes, all the pediatrics fans. HIV in children and African and Middle Eastern region. HIV in the US has been studied a lot, but in those regions, it's a very good topic. Even for a systematic review, you can combine what has been written and you can propose something new, a new question. Okay, a case study, successful targeted treatment of a boy with neuroblastoma. Brain tumors, neuroblastoma. Getting active soon after concussion may aid kids' recovery. Mobility, post-injury mobility, especially post-brain injury mobility. Ambulation. What a beautiful topic. Now, do you think there are deficiency of topics? Now there's confusion on topic selection? Our pediatrics fans, Chantal, any confusion now? Are you happy now? You're finding more and more topics? Now see, my kid has croup. Is it croup or croup? I'm not a pediatrics fan, I forgot. Croup or croup? Whooping cough, right? I remember vaguely a little bit. So it says, okay, so very good, Chantel, very good. So look at this article. My child has croup or croup. Could it be COVID? What do I need to know? So difference of croup or croup. Okay, croup. So difference of croup versus COVID symptoms. That's a good topic. You are comparing why croup is not COVID. Thank you, Chantel. Thank you for letting me know the pronunciation. You know, I'm a lifelong learner. I have no shame. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm always a lifelong student. I don't claim to be an expert, and I love learning. So I want all of you to develop this attitude. You will never feel embarrassment of making mistakes. If you develop this attitude that I'm a learner, oh, okay, thank you, please tell me. And you learn from your students. That's why teaching increases your knowledge. Very good. And what else? COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy like to childhood trauma. That's some psychological aspects. Linked. Oh, COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy linked to childhood trauma. So those people who are avoiding vaccines, they may have a history of trauma. So trauma and vaccine. Mental trauma possibly, or physical trauma, we don't know. Mental trauma usually. Early childhood exposure to lead in drinking water associated with increased teen delinquency risk. Early childhood exposure to lead. Lead. So lead in water, the lead poisoning, that's what the topic is. Lead poisoning in children associated with increased teen criminal activity. Kids' behavior in the future when they had lead poisoning. Another topic. WNT signaling is identified as target in NEDAMSS disorders in children. Asymptomatic viral infections in newborns linked to respiratory infections later. Asymptomatic viral infections in newborn linked to respiratory infections later. And I knew that already though. But that's a very good topic. Early infections lead to infections later in life. So now you see, people say that, oh, we cannot find topics. Just search the news, what is in the news, and now start searching PubMed. And you will find plenty of articles, and you can formulate your research question related to that. How to differentiate croup from COVID. It's a very good topic. Same topic, you can publish a research article because this is a news article. You further explore what are the similarities and dissimilarities. And you can also asymptomatic viral infections in newborns linked to respiratory infections later in life. Respiratory infection in children. Pictorial warnings could reduce purchase of sugary drinks. Pictorial warnings could reduce purchases of sugary drinks. Okay. Sugar in kids, high sugar intake, and the effect on children's psychology, mental health, high sugar intake and and the effects of high sugar intake on children's attention, that's a very good topic. Attention and sugar is a very deeply studied topic. And sugar and activity, sugar and energy levels, sugar and obesity. We all know obesity, don't worry about that. But so try to stay away from the most common things, the sugar and obesity. But sugar and growth, children growth. Is there any effect on the growth? And medication, some certain medication, like for example, personalized dosing of preparatory drug leads to safer stem cell transplants in children with leukemia. Now see how many topics I have given to you just because of looking at the news articles. You can just modify a little bit, expand more, or use any of these topics as your research question. Further explore. So please never ever think that you don't have topics or topic selection is difficult. Now you want to do that in cardiology. Use of psychedelics for PTSD treatment. Yes, very good. Why not? In fact, Pharma-related papers are so easily published. Journals love it. Pharma journals, there's so many pharma journals, free, fast publishing journals. So publishing a medication-related topic is very, very easy in comparison to other topics. Bring some medication. The Oreo test and other ways to help kids' oral health. What is an Oreo test? I don't know. I'm very bad at pediatrics. Okay, forgive me for that. Pediatrics and cardiology are my worst topics. Never liked cardiology, never liked pediatrics. Personalized dosing of preparatory drug leads to safer stem cell transplantation. Need of the time, stem cell transplantation. Tackling the stigma around birth defects in Africa. Birth defects and stigma in African countries and certain South Asian countries. Lifestyle more likely to affect a child's BMI than the weight of their mother. BMI in children. Non-genetic causes. Open label placebo. You can do a lot of other things like video games. More of a video game nowadays and effects on mental health. Like I read a story that a kid, unfortunately, a very sad story, killed his family just because he was an addict of a video game, shooting video game or something like that. So that was a very, very sad story I read. And that is happening too often. Those dangerous video games are destroying children's mindset. This is a topic that is always in trend since these video games and the social media has emerged. Effects of social media on children's mental health, effects of Facebook on children's mental health, effects of Instagram on children's mental health, effects of Snapchat on children's mental health, effects of TikTok. That's the worst one. TikTok is becoming really, really problematic in many ways for kids. They run a campaign of misbehaving with teachers, with misbehaving at school, something like that, and children do that. So effects on children's behavior due to social media. Choose one of the social media platforms: TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, and every one of these can have a different paper. TikTok and children behavior can be a separate research paper. Facebook and children can be a separate research paper. Instagram and children can be a separate research paper. I gave you 3 topics now. Sorry, guys. So now you see how many topics we can see, we can use. Screen time linked to autism spectrum disorder in boys. Autism is, so many studies are suggesting that autism does not only happen because of genetics. Autism can be actually environmental as well, by exposing your kids to TV screen or iPad so much. Simply focus on iPad and autism, or focus on TV and autism in early age. In children, maybe in boys or in girls separate. So boys, we know about that, but we don't know about girls. So you can study and see if there are literature available, and can you write a paper out of it? What else? Open label placebo offers new treatment for disorders of gut-brain infection in children. Gut-brain infection in children. Study examines years of life lost for adolescents, young adults to drug overdose. Drug addiction in children. Drug addiction in children of drug addict parents. A very interesting topic. So we have now, I think, explored so much about pediatrics. Now I think everyone knows that we have so many topics. You can find so many topics now. Now, secondly, another thing you all need to do is watch my video on the app. We have given you the app. All of you have the app access. I know new students don't have it. Chantal, you don't have it, but you will get the access to the app and you will be able to watch my videos, recorded material. So please do watch the video number lesson 28 on topic selection. Lesson 28, lesson 29, lesson 136, 137, lesson 142, 143, 144. Everyone must watch those lessons. That's very important. Okay. So now, how do we publish? We're talking about this. So anyone wants an example of cardiology? After this exercise that we did with Chantel for pediatrics, does anyone need or want me to do this exercise with cardiology? We go to cardiology news and search topics, or you can do that on your own. Everyone, please. And then please also forgive me for the wrong pronunciation of cardiology drugs and cardiology terminologies. I'm very bad at it. Please answer. I'm waiting. Okay, I think we are fine. So now, how to publish in high top impact factor journals. That's what we wanted to talk about today, but we took a lot of time in topic selection. I think that has resolved the problem. Now let's talk about, okay, very good, Sanusi. You can handle it on your own and tell me the suggestions. And if you like multiple topics, what do? All of those will be your future papers. Write down the list that my first paper, second paper, third paper, fourth paper, fifth paper. Write down the list. When I select my topics, I write down the list for my future papers. I have a list of my future books coming up already. I know. So I always write a list. So you do that. Your list will help you. Okay, now the next thing. How to publish in the top tier journal, top impact factor journal. Remember, when you have not published anything before, publishing in the best journal of the world is extremely difficult, almost impossible. But I said almost impossible. I did not say 100% impossible. Everything is possible. So you can do that, but smart approach is go from easier journals to then average journals, then above average journals, then the best journals in the world. So gradually publish. And when you have like 10, 20 publications, then your confidence level is higher. And then journals will also find it easier to publish your papers, because many big journals, big names, they prefer articles of already experienced people, especially professors. The greatest names in the world, they prefer papers by professors. So eventually it will happen. Yes, you can set a target that one day I will have a publication in Lancet. Lancet is the journal, big name. JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association, JAMA. JAMA Cardiology, JAMA Neurology, JAMA Nephrology. JAMA has the list. So JAMA, any of the JAMA journals, JAMA. And what else? You also have New England Journal of Medicine. Unanimously agreed upon number one, New England Journal of Medicine. So can you publish in New England Journal of Medicine? Absolutely. One day you will be able to do that. And if you're lucky, you may actually have your first paper published there too. Highly unlikely, but everything is possible, as I said. So how do we do that? First of all, we need to decide that I will one day have a publication in the topmost journal. In the topmost journal. That's what you need to decide. Most people have never ever taken a serious decision. They just have a wishful thinking. I don't want you all to have a wishful thinking. I want all of you to decide that, yes, I will do that. Decision is the most important thing. Most people never decide. Now plan your publication. How would you plan? Write it down, that this will be my topic. This is what I will do. I will have these headings. I will have these and this length of my paper plan, and then I will approach these top journals one after another, and I'll see if they publish my paper. So yeah, written plan is very important. Now remember, if you're publishing or you're planning to publish a systematic review in New England Journal of Medicine, or let's say Lancet or Nature or JAMA or any big name, what is the best thing? You need to look at their published papers. The biggest secret, that is an open secret, look at already published papers in that particular journal and see your paper and look at that paper. See your introduction section, look at this introduction section. See how many paragraphs he has used. Why you have lesser paragraph? Can you expand it? Or is your introduction too long, too redundant? Can you reduce it a little bit? Just emulate. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. And people who publish in top tier journals are normal human beings like you and me. They're normal human beings. They have the same skin, blood, flesh, bones. They haven't come out from the other world. I got a contract by Springer to write a book for Springer, to edit the book for Springer, and 2 more coming up. So I never thought that I will not be able to do that. And when we started working on it, we looked at other books published by major publishers, and we just made sure that our book is of the same quality or better quality. So you look at other people's papers and make sure your paper is minimum of the same level or a better level. Minimum of the same level or a better level. Everything has room for improvement. Everything has room for improvement. Write it down. Everything has room for improvement. So any article you see has room for improvement. You just say, okay, this scientist has done this. These people have done these things. Can I write a better paper out of it? Can I make better pictures, better tables, better figures, better graph than this one? Can I have a better introduction than this? And let it write. Let your automatic flow of writing come out. Write it even with wrong grammar, because you will correct grammar later. Don't worry about it. Just write it with bad English grammar. I don't care about the grammar right now. All the great scientists in different parts of the world who don't have English as their first language, how do they do that? They just write it, then they use the editing service, and you will do that too. You will use a software like Grammarly. Turn it in. You will fix the grammar issues. Spelling issues, not a big deal. So never ever think that, oh, my English is weak, I will not be able to publish it. No, that's not true. You will be able to publish. Okay, and imagine if you write a paper of that quality and you don't submit to the topmost journal, but you submit to an average or below average journal. It's 100% publication. It's 100% publication. If you have selected the topic the right way, as I told you. The biggest reason of rejection is the topic is not in demand. Journals don't want to publish it. Journals, remember, if you understand this philosophy, guys, you will understand everything. Journals are running a business, right? So write it down. Journals are running a business, and businesses want their websites to be visited by more and more people so that they can make more and more money. And if you are writing something that is not trending, most people will not visit this website. So journals want you to visit their websites. and you are their partner. You need to help them to make sure other people come to their website. How will that happen? This will happen if you write something that is in trend. And when more people cite it, when more people cite it, cite your paper, other researchers will see and they will cite your paper, journals ranking and rating goes up. So you are the partner of a journal, so you have to give them something that gives value to their journal. Hi Bakzada, how are you? Hi Zakaria. Thank you. So I hope everyone understands this now, that I have explained to you very clearly that what needs to be done. Select a topic that is in demand, select the topic that is trending, because journals want an article that brings people to their website, traffic to their website. And when traffic comes to their website, they can get more advertisements. They will make more money. Journals make money on advertisements mainly. And when the articles get citation, their journals ranking go up. And when the journals ranking go up, they get more advertisements. Journals don't make money on the fee they charge most of the time, although some journals do. But some journals will just charge minimum fee to maintain their journal, but they make money actually on the advertisements by pharmaceutical companies. So you need to understand the business. If you understand how this business works, you will be able to write and publish the best papers. People who don't publish or who don't become published authors, who cannot get their papers accepted, they don't understand the business. You need to understand the logic behind it. Why this journal is there? They are making money. This is a business. Make sense? Now, the next thing you need to do is choose a list of 20 journals possible, top journals. How do you find top journals? We'll talk about that as well. But you first make a list of 20 possible journals that, okay, these are my 20 possible favorite journals and I'll publish in any of those. Okay, now what do? You go to a website, Shimagor, SCIMAGOJR. I'll repeat again, SCIMAGOJR, Shimagor.com. Go to this website, write down your specialty, and it will give you the list of all possible journals that they have in their database. They are mostly, these are all the journals that you have. If you write down internal medicine, Shimagor website will show you list of all possible journals. And they will divide those journals into 4 quartiles. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, quartile 4. They will divide it. Q1 are the topmost journals, the best journals in that specialty. So if you really want to publish in the top tier journal, then you choose the list of 20 journals from the quartile 1, from the Q1 list. But if you want to play smart, as I suggested, that if you see your first paper, then select the list of 20 journals from Q2 or Q3. Because you will be writing a paper of the level of the highest or the best journal. And you will be submitting it to Q2 or Q3. Chances of your publication are humongously high. And you are submitting an article that is already in demand, already in the news. And you will mention that in your cover letter. We'll talk about all this later. Don't worry about it. When it's time to publish, we will talk about this later. Now, the next thing you need to do. Okay, so explain that again. So when you go to the website, shimagor.com, they will have the list of all possible journals, or most journals in the world. So you write down your specialty. If your specialty is internal medicine, if your specialty is gynae and ops, just choose the option. They have an option there. You choose it, click search, it will show you all the options, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Now, you need to select 20 possible journals that you will target, that I want to publish in any of those. You never choose one journal, you choose 20 journals. Once you have those 20 journals list, write them down on a piece of paper or a journal or a book, whatever you have. Now you have the list. Now you either select 20 journals from Q1 alone, or you select 20 journals from Q2, or you select 20 journals from Q3, or you select 776. 7 journals from Q1, 7 journals from Q2, 6 journals from Q3. You can do that as well. And if you really, another secret I'm telling you, if you don't want rejection, you really want to publish as soon as possible, then you don't worry about the quality of the journal, then go with Q4. Q4 are low quartile journals. They're not that popular. They are not the best journals, but they are very easy to publish. You can publish your paper easily in those journals. But in Q4, always check the indexing of those journals by going on their website. Are they PubMed index? Are they Scopus index? Are they Web of Science index? These are the biggest names, right? These indexing should be there. And we'll talk about that later. Don't worry about it. I'm just giving you a brief idea about publishing. So everyone is clear about that. So if I were you, I would write the best paper of my life. I will consider that this is my first paper, but I'll write it as if it's my last paper of my life. I'll do my best, but I'll choose Q2 and Q3 as my initial target for my first paper, because I want to first gain some experience. I want to gain some confidence, and then I will submit and to a best journal later, my future papers. Once I have like 5, maybe 10 publications, once I have 10 publications, then I will try to publish in the top tier journal, not before that. Okay, now the next thing is the mental attitude. Most people don't believe that they can be a published author. So first of all, break this barrier, write it down. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Say it out aloud as many times as possible. This exercise is essential. This exercise is essential. Most people don't do this exercise. That's why very few people achieve their goals. Your mental block, because of previous failures, has taught you a lesson, and it gives us all a lesson that we possibly cannot achieve our goals, or possibly we cannot be successful. So you have to keep saying this out aloud. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can be a published author. I can publish in a great journal. I can publish in a big name. I can publish in the best journal. This exercise is extremely important. If you miss this exercise, you are not saying this out aloud every day, you will give your mind a message that you are worthless and you cannot publish in top tier journal. Belief system is the most important thing. Now there's a question, which category is curious? I don't know. Check it if it's there. If it's not, there are so many journals that are not there, so you have to look for it. And the main thing for a journal you need to do is indexing. Search the indexing. Where are they indexed? You gotta have the journal indexed in a reliable indexing like PubMed, PubMed Central, Medline, Web of Science, Scopus, Embase. Those are the indexing you should look for. For US residency candidates, PubMed. For any other candidates, any indexing will be fine. But for US residency and UK training program candidates, PubMed is extremely important. In fact, in the UK, PubMed is a must. They have mentioned that in the point scoring system, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. They have mentioned that in the point scoring system that your publication should be on in PubMed. So for UK training programs, core and specialty training, it has become a rule. But in the US, it is not an official rule, but they of course prefer PubMed. Now, believe and then visualize. Imagine how once your paper is published, how would you feel? This exercise is very important. Remember, besides training and physical exercises, mental exercise is very important. You gotta say, I can do it, and imagine your publication out. that you have already become a published author and you are showing that publication to other people. This exercise is very important. If you don't do this exercise, you will not be able to publish your paper. Belief system is extremely important. You will probably hardly meet anyone who will say, oh, I never believed I will be a published author, but I became. 99.9% people who will have publications, you ask them that did you have a belief that you will do that? They will say, yes, I believed it. Did you ever think at any point in time that you may not be able to you will not be able to become a published author? They will say, probably never. I never thought that way. So you have to break this mental barrier first. That yes, I can. If other people have done it, I can do that. They are not better than me. I'm not better than anyone. Nobody is better than me. If they can do it, I can do it. We all can do it. We all can become successful. This is extremely important. Now, the next thing is the exercise of focus while working on your paper. For all those enrolled students, if you are enrolled in the 2-month program, my advice, and I would say this is my strict advice, that for next 2 months, and those who are enrolled in 6 months, those who are enrolled in 3 months, as long as you have this training going on, you need to have strict focus on your paper. No other activity, no partying, no friends for these 2, 3, or 6 months until your training ends. No movies, please stay away from it. You need absolute focus, 100% focus. Can you achieve that? Remember, the more focus, the more chances of your publication. If you have 100% focus, that you have no other thing in your mind except your publication, it's 100% publication. If you have 80% focus, that's a very good focus. Chances are 80% of publication, producing a wonderful paper. It's absolutely related to your focus. So I want all of you to focus. No other thought should come to your mind except your publication. So please skip parties, please skip friends gathering. If there is something urgent that has to come, and any emergency or anything coming up, you already write it down that, okay, these 3 days I'll be occupied, but I'll be available for next 57 days. I'm not going to sacrifice anything. I'm not going to waste my 57 days. Only 3 days I can waste, but rest 57 days I have to be strictly focused. Your focus is very important. And then the level of responsibility you take. How responsible are you? Remember, people who are responsible become successful. Successful people are always responsible people. They are irresponsible people cannot be successful. If there's one property that makes people successful, is responsibility. I'm talking about true successful people, not successful people by dishonesty, or successful by bribing, or becoming successful by doing wrong things. No, I'm not talking about those people. Those are not successful. Those are crooks. They can be rich. They can look like successful people, but inside they know they're not successful. I'm talking about the success when you know deep down inside that you are successful. That's what success is. When you know you are successful. People will never believe you are successful. So you need to know you are successful. And this comes when you work hard, you are focused, you take absolute responsibility. This is the success I'm talking about. And you have your goal achieved with hard work, dedication, focus, determination. So you have to have a belief that, yes, I can be a published author and I can publish in the great journal, and I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Take absolute responsibility and focus 100% attention and focus to your paper. No other thought should come to your mind. No other thought should come to your mind. If you have other thoughts coming to your mind, you're thinking about sports, you're thinking about politics, you're thinking about movies, when you're working on your paper, until your paper finishes, you will not be able to publish it. You will not be able to produce a wonderful paper. Maybe you will publish it, but not an outstanding paper. So that's it for today. We'll continue in another session, and we'll talk about more techniques that you need to use to publish in a great journal. There are so many other things. Of course, I could not finish everything, but we will do that later. So anyone has any other questions before I leave? Anyone has Any question before I leave? Thank you. You're welcome, Zakaria. Thanks a lot. Chantel, thanks a lot. Thank you for listening to me and being very attentive. Thank you, Asma. And I hope everyone has solved their problems of topic selection, and now they know that yes, they can publish. Guys, all of you can publish. If one person can do it, you can do it. 17-year-old kids have done it, okay? So you can do it. We will give you the details of how to get the app and everything. Don't worry about it. So please, which Prisma checklist do you recommend we use? Which Prisma checklist? Prisma checklist is the only one Prisma checklist, 2020. That's the latest one, Prisma 2020. Prisma 2020, and you use the Prisma flow diagram 2020 for your systematic review. If you're writing a systematic review, Prisma checklist. If you're writing a traditional review, Sandra checklist, Sandra, SANRA. If you're writing a clinical trial or observational study, what checklist do you use? Consort checklist is the reporting guidelines. For case report care guidelines, CARE. And that's also a quality appraisal guideline, care guideline. But Prisma is not a quality appraisal guideline. You will write your paper according to Prisma, but you will check your paper according to AmStar. That's very important. You will write your paper according to Prisma 2020, but after your paper is done, you will check your paper on AmStar checklist to make sure your paper has all the relevant points and it's of high quality. Yes, I may have said that before, but now I have been saying this since 2020 has come, and I have gone through it more and more. I believe that you should go with 2020. 2020. You don't want to give any journal a chance of rejecting your paper. Then why did you use an old checklist? Don't give them a chance. 2020. That they may say that why did you use the checklist of 2009? Why not 2020? You don't want to give them a chance. Okay, so now I'm changing my point of view. Go with 2020. Okay, so 2020, everyone. And anyone has any other questions? No one has any questions left? Can I leave now, guys? Okay, thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Pleasure to have you all here, and keep learning, keep watching, keep growing. And if you have any question, you have my number, and we'll see you again. And type, if you're watching the recording, then just still type, I will see your question. Okay, thank you. See you very soon in the next session. Thanks a lot.